everybody, Jim here with you once again to go do some retro game hunting at a hard off. Gonna try to go to another hard off today that I haven't been to. I'm in Ogikubo right now. As you can see, very nice clear day here in Tokyo. The weather is kind of nice now. It's warm, but it's not brutally hot like it was in July and August. And I'm gonna get on the train and we're heading to Hachioji, which is in West Tokyo. Hachioji, there's actually several hard-offs there. So I'm gonna go to at least one today. I'm looking for games for myself and some games for some other people as well. And so yeah, we'll see what we find. I checked them out on Google Maps already, and they look pretty good. At least one of them I've been to before years ago, and got a ton of games there. So I'm hoping it works out like that again today. But anyway, stick with me. We're gonna jump on the train, head out to West Tokyo, and do some game hunting. So stick around. Okay, so I've just arrived in Hachioji, and kind of, I guess a bit of a blast from the past right now. I haven't been here in at least 3 years. It's, as you can see, it's a really nice, neighborhood. It's kind of, this and Tachikawa are two of the kind of like bigger spots in West Tokyo. So pretty cool place to come for any reason really. But we're here for hard off, and according to Google Maps, the one I'm going to is about a 20-minute walk from here. So that's what we're gonna do. We are gonna follow the map and get walking. So stick with me, ladies and gentlemen. We are gonna be doing some retro game hunting. Let's go. Okay, so it should be right up here, right across the street. Big old hard-off megaplex. I was gonna go to a different one, but I got off at the wrong station. It's actually the one I was thinking of is by Yamada Station, which is a little ways from here. So instead, I decided to go with the one that was 20 minutes away, which is the much bigger of the two, I do believe. I've been to this one before and got like a lot of games on one trip. So hopefully I can do that today. Got a whole bunch of stuff, one trip, and then I'm out of here. Not that I don't like Hachioji, but, you know, it's a ways, you know, it's out of my way. But you can see over there. So this place has it all. It's got off house, which is household goods. Liquor off, I don't know how. I mean, it must just be a regular liquor store. You can't sell used liquor, I don't think. Hard off, mode off, hobby off, and book off. And from what I recall, their hobby off is strictly cards and figures and stuff. Their book off is just 100% books and DVDs. All of the games are kept in the hard off itself. So that's what we're going to be focusing our attentions on. 100% hard off today. And games, games, games. I don't need manga. I don't need DVDs. I just need games. And where's the entrance to this bad boy? Oh, okay. Over around here somewhere. Anyway, let's get inside and see what's what. I need to actually find out where the damn hard off is. This is the mode off. I don't need any household stuff. I just need my games. Maybe over here? It's ridiculous. I've been here before, mind you. This is how horrible my sense of direction is. Hey. Or maybe not. Oof. Look what we got. Alright, hard off. Let's bust this baby out. Got some titties on it. Let's do it.
All right. In hard off, looking at this case, first things I saw in it, there's like a rendering ranger in there for like $1,400. There's magical poppin' and turtles and just a bunch of other things. So this case, loaded with stuff. That magical poppin', I mean, it's they're selling it for like $2,000. So yeah, hard off. They ain't no fools when they got something on their hands that they can get a few grand for. Jeez, that's what they're selling it for. Yeah, so in this case, there's stuff worth multiple hundreds of dollars. I mean, we can see Super Famicom and some Sega stuff in there. There's A couple of AES games in there. There's Dragon Quest for the MSX, which is pretty cool. And a bunch of these Mega Drive games. Not all of them really being high-dollar games, like Sonic 3 and Quackshot, Sonic Spinball, Fantasia Vermilion. These could have been over with the other stuff, but they're not. But what can you do? Anyway, that's the case. Or one of the cases full of stuff. This one is cool. There's a bunch of Game & Watch in it, which, outside of Akiba, I usually don't come across much Game & Watch. So that's pretty cool. And there's also Wonder Swans and Neo Geo Pocket Colors in there and some other stuff. So that's very cool. And this aisle I get through pretty quickly. This is all PS4, PS3, and I think some Vita stuff too. Stuff I'm not collecting for right now. But it was, you know, they had a ton of games. But pretty much any hard off these days, there's just going to be so much PS3, there's going to be PS4, there's going to be anything PlayStation, there's just going to be an overabundance of it. So I didn't spend too much time in this aisle. I just kind of perused it really quick. Also, yeah, strap in. I'm going to be sitting here talking for like the next 20, 25, 26 minutes or something because this place is big. They had a lot of stuff, so it kept me busy. As we come to yet another case. And this one had some really good stuff in it. Plenty of PC Engine and Saturn and other things. That's the kind of stuff I'm really in the market for. As we see Hellfire S. And they have like Bulk Slash, Wipeout. There's Bangayo, Spriggan, Tiger Road, Gate of Thunder. Just so much good stuff in there. Even some handheld stuff. Potful Mail. Love that game. R-Type Complete, I believe, for the CD. R-Types and Corpse Killer, of all things. And an arcade card duo, Bulk Slash. I actually paid less for my arcade card duo. There's Street Fighter 2X for matching service on the Dreamcast. Something else I'd like to have if it wasn't, you know, a few $100. Coming around the corner here. Nintendo. This is one of their Nintendo aisles. There's another one, as we'll see. But they have, you know, boxed N64, loose N64 stuff. Pretty much anywhere I go, the N64, they're not overflowing with N64 games. As we see some Smash Brothers, other various stuff. Yeah, N64 was one of the less popular Nintendo consoles in Japan, I guess. Actually was outsold by both the PlayStation and the Saturn. So usually when I go somewhere, that's not their most abundant Nintendo console. But this baby, the Super Famicom, as we see, Contra and R-Type and Ghouls and Ghosts. We got Super Game Boys. All this box stuff. Yeah, there's just a ton of Super Famicom in this place. So if you are indeed a Super Famicom collector and you're doing some game hunting, you are going to want to come to the Hachioji Hard Off. And as we take a look at these games, I actually have a bottle of water here with me. I'm watching this at home after, you know, I've completed the hunt. As we see Gundam Wing and other stuff. People have remarked, you know, yeah, do you do the voiceovers afterwards? Yes, I do. I do them when I'm at home. The Super Famicom Potful Mail, which I've never played, but looks pretty cool. I do them while I'm at home. I don't do live commentary because I don't want a bunch of people looking at me talking to myself in the store. And also, if the Hard Off theme song, which is constantly playing in this place, if it's loud enough and it's picked up by, you know, your copyright bots, the roving Matrix-esque copyright bots, yeah, that is copyrighted music, and the entire video will be claimed. But I'm sitting here because this is such a long video. I am sitting here with water for my to lubricate my throat. Ranma 1/2, just one of the Super Famicom Ranma games. There's quite a few of them. But yeah, all of this really great Super Famicom stuff, and most of it priced pretty well. And we see lots of loose cards here as well. Most of these, yeah, they're like a few bucks. You know, $3 here, there for Street Fighter, Dragon Quest, Dragon Ball Z, you know, Shin-Chan, other various things, Final Fantasies. Yeah, lots of stuff here for cheap. Not all of the loose carts are that cheap. As you can see, Final Fight 2 and a handful of other things. They're a little more expensive than that, but not by much. And yeah, I do need a little bit of water because I've actually been a little under the weather lately as well, struggling with kind of like a little bit of a cold. As we see another Goemon game. How many Goemon games are there in the Super Famicom? Like 4 or 5? The original Yu Yu Hakusho, pretty cool game. Always cheap to find that one. That and Yu Yu Hakusho 2. They're very affordable. And more and more stuff. All the loose carts and everything. Yoshi's Island and Mario World. Gradius 3. One of my favorite shooters on the Super Famicom. Love Gradius. And we got some Dragon Ball Z and some Gundams. Super Butoden 3. 1,000 yen. So less than $10 for a complete copy of Super Butoden 3. And just DK Country, so much. And we move to another shelf. So as you can see, this is why I was in this place so long. There's just an immense amount of games here. When I, put the camera away eventually and was actually going to, start picking up games, I was looking around, like, extensively. It took me a while. I was in here for over an hour at least. And then these are protected by these little pegs. I don't know why. These are not, like, super high value games. There's Super Metroid, some Sailor Moon, Sandler, Mother 2, Area 88. These are all great games, but they're not, exceptionally rare or anything like that. So yes. Yu Yu Hakusho 2, another game, about $10. Really good 2D fighter. And some Gundam stuff, I guess, strategy game. So yeah, no shortage of them Super Famicom games. And Game Boy stuff as well. Game Boy, GBA. Yeah. So this aisle was 100% Nintendo. As we see Pokemon. We see Hokuto no Ken. We see some Rockman. Kunio-kun. Zelda. Gremlins. Kirby. Yu Yu Hakusho. So much Game Boy. Ranma. And it dawns on me that I have like 0 Game Boy in my collection. Maybe not even a Game Boy. Well, I think I have a Game Boy, but no games. As we're looking at these Famicom games, and this, oh boy, do they have a lot of Famicom games. As we're looking at loose carts here, and they have, all kinds of stuff. The YY Worlds, and there's Kunios, and, Mappy, Ghouls and Ghosts. Sun. Great game. Port of the original Capcom arcade game. All these Dragon Quest games, just a bunch of them, so no shortage of those. So, yeah, and Golgo 13, Dragon Ball, which is, pretty fun game. Lots of other stuff. East 2, and Commando. That's a cool thing. East 2 has its own individual Famicom release. Transformers, Tiny Toons, Astro Boy, just all this great stuff. Most of it pretty damn cheap, and you can see why. Just look at the amount of Famicom games they have. That's why so many of them are so cheap. It's just they have so much. And this Kunio-kun game, really great game. They're selling for about $15 or so. I believe that's the Crash and the Boy Street Challenge. Wario no Mori, or Wario's Woods. I think that was the last official NES game released. And this one, Seikima 2, a video game based on a heavy metal band. And there's a copy of Jesus off to the side there. Balloon Fight, other things. So a lot of this stuff, I assume, has been here for a while, unless there are just collectors coming through constantly buying up stuff. Which is a possibility. I think it's kind of well known that this Hard Off in particular is a big one. It's got an ass on it. It's so many games. But like Bomberman 2, River City Ransom, Goonies 2, Don Dokudon. It just goes on and on. And Mario 3, what is that being sold for? Like $15 or so. So that's pretty good. And we get to yet another shelf just filled with Famicom games. So again, if cheap Famicom games is what you're looking for, a hard off like this is where you want to go. I would go, somewhere like this. before hitting Akihabara, if I had the chance, as there's these Dragon Ball Z games. Dragon Ball 3 and the DBZ. Those are, you know, cool. Little RPGs. You can enjoy the story, play some DBZ, and another shelf with Famicom, including Wrecking Crew and Ice Climbers. I love Wrecking Crew. That's actually one of my favorite 8-bit Mario games, actually. Starting to feel like kind of a broken record here. There's just so much Famicom. It is mind-blowing. And Batman, one of my favorite, probably just one of my favorite NES games in general. Definitely one of my favorite NES platformers. And we have some Famicoms here. Their price kind of high, actually. That one's complete. So they're complete. They were selling them for 8,640 yen. That's almost $80. Maybe close to like 78 at this point. But yeah. So not cheap, but I don't know, I guess. If you didn't mind spending $78 for a box Famicom. As we look at some PS2, which, again, I wasn't looking for PS2 this day. So I kind of just browsed. But, you know, here's, you know, R-Type Final, Gunbird games, some other stuff on there. The Metal Slug Complete collection, which is awesome. It has 6 Metal Slug games on one action-packed disc. What a bargain. So yeah, PS2, I kind of just quickly perused before I moved on to the next aisle, which is coming up soon. But we'd take a look at another case here. That's cool. A computer mouse in the shape of a Starman, a PC Engine Turbo Duo, and some Pong consoles. What? Yeah, they have some Pong consoles in here, including this TV Game 15. I think that's actually a Nintendo Pong console. That was like their first foray into home consoles. There's the Magic Knight Ray Earth Edition Game Gear. I was going to say Guilty Gear. But we see core graphics and PC Engine. Some more super old school stuff. That Bomberman Multitap for the Super Famicom I see occasionally. And even a robot. A Rob the Robot, which they call a Gyrobot here. And boing. Is it some hand? I don't know. There's like loose Mega Drive and stuff right here. A few loose PC Engine games, but this was excellent because they actually had a selection of PC Engine games. I was ecstatic because usually when I go to hard offs, they have like jack shit for PC Engine. Valis 3, fantastic game. Just happy to find that. The prerequisite Kabuki Den shows up in like pretty much every video. Another arcade card duo. And the arcade cards in this place, they're pretty pricey. East 3, another wonderful game. Love it. But usually, yeah, PC Engine, despite the fact that it's sold really well, there's a shortage of PC Engine games a lot in hard offs. Fighting Street, Dragon Slayer, you know. Some of the arcade games, Golden Axe, and Hyperzone 2, and Fatal Fury, and Ranma, and Gradius. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Going from usually finding no PC Engine at all, to finding stacks of it. Street Fighter, and R-Type. See, so it's not like Afterburner, and all this other stuff. So it's not like I found like a handful of games that are like whatever, they're no good. There's Yokai Dochuki, which is great. Mr. Heli is one of my favorite PC Engine games. So yeah, they had a nice selection of PC Engine games, and it wasn't just, you know, junky titles. They had some really good stuff. And PlayStation, which PS1, I still have a great fondness for. Maybe my favorite console ever. So we got some Rockman games here, X4 and Rockman Dash. These are stuck together because somebody at this store doesn't know how to package games correctly. X5, X6, Rockman 8, which actually, Part 8 is one of my favorite Rockman games. Gets kind of a bad rap. I don't think it should. I think it's a great game. As we continue our browsing, yes, PlayStation. I do still pick up PlayStation games when I can. And usually when I'm at home, if I'm just going to sit and casually play some retro games, if I'm not playing on like my Famicom or Mega Drive, I'll probably be playing my PlayStation. Rival Schools, another favorite of mine. I don't know, I almost want to, like, there are certain games like Rival Schools where I want to do some kind of just dedicated video. Not just like a review, but just gush over it. Chocobo Collection. It's got Chocobo Stallion, Chocobo Racing, and I think Chocobo Dungeon as well. So that's awesome. But yeah, I don't know, just turn on the camera and sit here and just geek out, gush over Rival Schools and Star Gladiator and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, some of my favorite, seemingly overlooked or forgotten Capcom fighters, and other games as well. The Tenchu series is one I've been wanting to do something like that for. Pat Labour for the PlayStation. Very cool. So yeah, they have plenty of PS1 games as well. And no, I am not neglecting you. Mega Drive games. So they had some good Mega Drive stuff, including this. Finally, Sonic and Knuckles. I couldn't find this game like anywhere. Going to hard-offs everywhere, even in Akiba, I couldn't find it. So I put it back for the duration of the filming, but spoilers, yeah. Finally got myself a copy of Sonic and Knuckles, complete, and in really good shape. It wasn't cheap, but yeah, I wasn't gonna walk out of here without that Sonic and Knuckles, baby. And we got some Street Fighter. It's like $20, a bunch of other stuff. So, you know, the Mega Drive games, they had their selection. Didn't exactly knock my socks off, but I got something I really wanted. And then these are all, I guess these are PC games, I'm guessing. Some people have asked me to do a little more in-depth on the PC games and hard-offs and stuff, but it's kind of hard. I don't really know much of anything about PC gaming, honestly. But there's usually some in there, mixed in with the other stuff, as we look at some Dreamcast, which, I mean, you know, big lover of the Dreamcast. Have quite a few Dreamcast games in my collection. But this is another console where it's kind of hit or miss. Are you going to find anything good? I mean, they got, like, you know, the Choo Choo Rocket, some Sakura Wars games, your Sonic Adventures, the kind of stuff you typically would find at a hard-off, but some of the more elusive titles can be hard to come by. Street Fighter 03 and Spawn in the Demon's Hand. That's a really fun, just arena combat game. I actually really like that game. Because I like Spawn as well. Virtua Fighter 3 TB. So, you know, there's some stuff here, but including Fish Eyes, Score. So there was some stuff here for the Dreamcast, but not that much, unfortunately. But, you know, I'm always happy to dig through a bunch of Dreamcast games in the hopes of finding something good. And Saturn. They had like 2 shelves of Saturn games, which I was happy about, because I also really love the Sega Saturn. Tetris Plus. Wonderful, wonderful game. And they did have some pretty cool Saturn games here. Darius and whatever the hell you are. So yeah. Saturn, if I have one console that I do really love, I guess collecting, because I don't know, I play all my Saturn games, but for some reason there's just kind of like an excitement I get when I get new Saturn games, because, you know, I make it a point to only pick up things that I'm like really, you know, I'm certain I'm excited to play. It's mostly like shooters and fighting games that I pick up on the Saturn. So it's like when I get them, I'm like, awesome, now I've got something I'm really going to be into. Magic Knight, Ray Earth, some other things. So the Saturn games they had for sale here, I did end up picking up a few of them, actually. Because they did have some shooters, and I think some fighting games as well, some other good stuff. But there's like Virtua Cop, there's Rayman, and a bunch of other things. So let's continue to look at Saturn games while I take a drink of this water. Because I'm parched. Yeah, parched. Okay. More Saturn. Gojira. Sakura Wars. Plenty of. What do we got? Sky Tiger Strikers. 1945. One of my favorite top-down shooters. And Sokyu Goren Tai. It's a mouthful, but that's a great shooter. Sonic Jam, complete with the spine card and everything. Really great condition. Had a couple of copies of that. And Sega Rally, Sentimental Graffiti, which I don't care about so much. And moving right along to some consoles. Because I got consoles too, of course. This aisle is all just like more recent consoles. As you can see, they have Wii U's. Some people have said in the comments they can't believe that these Wii U's, they're like $6,000 to like $60 or so. Yep, that's correct. You can find some pretty cheap Wii U's around here. Fight sticks and other kinds of bigger controllers and everything. So that's cool. And this MSX is just sitting here. Of all places, it's about $200 for this MSX, this Panasonic-made MSX. Which that's one thing. Like maybe if I get into a bigger place or something, I have more room to put things that I collect. MSX might be something I get into. As we look at some PlayStation consoles, PS2, big old fat PS2 for $4,400, and the Slims are usually the more expensive of those, and PS1s and whatever else. So these are the not so retro consoles, and these are the more retro consoles. So Super Famicoms and Famicoms. We got some loose ones. We got some that are boxed. These, they're priced kind of like in that meaty part of the curve. $43.20 because it's missing some stuff, but these are not so bad. Those are actually cheaper than the ones they had over on the other side of the store for some odd reason. This family computer was like a keyboard you could use with Family Basic. I guess if you wanted to use your Famicom and do some programming, I don't know. And a cool Pokemon branded silver GameCube, which is pretty sweet as well. And then a GameCube just being packaged with a game for some reason. 64s and these are some of these. That one's packaged with something, so it's like I don't know why that. It's crazy. Some of these are like $40. Some of them are like $80. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Pick a lane, people. But we got our N64s and Mega Drive 2, 9720. Good Lord, Mega Drives and Mega Drive games. They're holding their value these days. This I thought was cool though. A Model 1 with a power base converter, 2 controllers, all hookups and everything. I think like less than $120, maybe more, closer to like $110. 12,000 yen. So that was pretty cool. But again, I did not grab that today. We've got some other Mega Drives and a Saturn. See, these Model 1s, they're like $64.80. Not as much as the Model 2. Of course, boxed Model 2s, and these are in fantastic shape, by the way. And they're just under $100. So I guess that's not so bad, relatively speaking. Boxed Saturn. That's $86.40, about $80 or so. So yeah, some older consoles, and then Mega Drive Minis already on sale, $6,600. So we got one Mega Drive Mini there, PlayStation Mini, considerably cheaper. As we see some other cool stuff up here, Super Scope and whatever else. This Neo Geo AES joystick for $64.80. It's in really good shape and comes with box and everything. So that's pretty cool. But that's about it for this aisle, unless we want to look at some, fax machines, whatever the hell else they keep in here. So we're going to get out of this aisle and go to the final stop You can't go to a hard off without at least having a look at the bargain bins. And good lord, the bargain bins in this one, filled to the brim, VR, 3D, whatever the hell, but junky, busted up consoles and wires and random things. All this just stuff just hanging out. Like, good lord, people. All these Wii Fit boards. Just, but then, yeah, bunches and bunches of games, which I didn't. Again, people have said, hey, an hour of digging through these bargain bins would be pretty cool to them. I don't know, maybe something I have to do at a later date. But yeah, you can see there's just a whole bunch of PlayStation, a whole bunch of PS2, there's Famicom games, and just all this stuff. It's all 100 yen. I mean, coming here and then $1 a piece for these games. And you never know what you're going to find. I mean, it's not too likely that you're going to find anything where you're like, it's going to blow your socks off, like, oh my god. But if you're just like looking for like really common stuff, usually you can come and fish them out of the junk bins. And if they're cartridges and stuff, maybe just take them home and clean them up a little bit, and they'll be fine. You know, if there's a sticker on it, get the sticker off. I think there's like Sega Pico stuff in here. It's just okay. That's about it for the inside of this hard off. Doing our game hunting today. Famicom games, and there's like strategy guides, old strategy guides down there and stuff. So yeah, we're done in here. So let's get the hell out of here. Let's get outside. See what I got.
Okay, all done in hard off. Now it's time for the long trek home, and I'm gonna have a seat. Oh. Okay, so there was a ton of stuff in there. Games for lots and lots of consoles. Some of the prices were great. Some of them were like kind of insane. But you can see I got a big bag full of stuff. So if you look in there, there's Saturn, there's PlayStation. Thank you, Thomas. There's Saturn, there's PlayStation. This is all going to various people. The one thing I did pick up for myself, though, was this nice copy of Sonic & Knuckles, a game I've been looking for a long time. Anyone that's watched any of my game hunts knows I was always looking for it, and I finally found it. Alright, so, done. Sun going down, and I need to go walk back to the station, get on the train, and go home because I'm hungry, and I'm tired. It's been a long day of game hunting, and I'm ready to call it quits. But yeah, this big old hard off complex thing in Hachioji is it was filled with games the last time I was here, like 3 years ago or so, and it still is. Lots of stuff in there. Famicom, Super Famicom, PC Engine. That was the most PC Engine I've seen in a hard off in a while. Saturn, Mega Drive. I mean, how can I complain? I found a game I've been looking for a while now, and it's in really great shape too, so I'm happy. And the price was it was about right, I guess. I was willing to bite the bullet for something I really wanted. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I think next time I'm gonna go to that other hard off I was talking about in Yamada. I was gonna do it today, but it's getting dark and I want dinner and a beer, so I think Yamada is gonna have to wait for next time. But until then, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoy these videos. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and by all means, use these videos if you're going to be coming to Tokyo doing some game hunting of your own. I do like to hear from people when they say they've been using my videos as sort of like little guides for their game hunting trips, so that's awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody. Take care, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.